Have you ever felt like you are walking through a crowded room surrounded by dozens of conversations, yet you are existing in an entirely different universe? Welcome to a quiet corner of the human experience. Today we are taking a profound journey into the minds and hearts of the rarest group of people in the world. They are often described by four simple letters: introverted, intuitive, feeling, judging. But these letters only scratch the surface of a deeply complex, beautifully layered soul. These individuals are walking contradictions in the most fascinating way possible. They crave deep connection with humanity, yet they require absolute solitude to survive. They are intensely emotional, capable of feeling the pain of the world, yet they process these emotions with a sharp, rational, and philosophical mind. To the outside observer, they might seem quiet, reserved, or even mysterious, but beneath that calm exterior lies a vibrant, rich, and sometimes overwhelming inner world. They are the quiet observers, the gentle healers, and the profound thinkers. If you have ever felt entirely misunderstood by the fast-paced, loud modern society, or if you love someone who seems to carry the weight of the world in their gentle eyes, you are about to discover the hidden depths of this unique personality. Sit back, take a deep breath, and let us explore the beautiful, surprising secrets of this quiet mind. We live in a world where almost everyone wears a mask. We put on brave faces for our colleagues, cheerful smiles for our neighbors, and confident postures for the strangers we pass on the busy city streets. But for this rare personality, those masks are entirely transparent. They possess an extraordinary, almost unsettling ability to see right through the societal facades that people unconsciously construct. When they look at you, they do not just see the clothes you wear or hear the polite small talk you offer about the weather. They look deeply into your eyes and instinctively recognize the exhaustion you are hiding, the silent hopes you carry, and the unspoken fears that linger in your heart. This profound perception is why they often keep their own layers so tightly protected. Because they see how vulnerable the human soul truly is, they guard their own with immense care. They are intensely private individuals, locking their deepest thoughts and truest selves away in a quiet sanctuary within their minds. They are a treasure trove of secrets, complex philosophies, and rich imaginations. If you want to know them, you cannot simply ask. You must earn their trust day by day, moment by moment. They will only reveal their inner world slowly, peeling back the layers one by one, and only to those who have proven themselves to be gentle, patient, and entirely genuine. There is a profound difference between understanding an emotion and physically absorbing it. For this unique personality type, the boundary between their own feelings and the feelings of the people around them is incredibly thin, sometimes almost non-existent. They are emotional sponges. When a friend comes to them in tears, shattered by a broken heart or a deep personal loss, they do not just offer sympathy, they actually feel the heaviness in their own chest. The sorrow seeps into their own bones. No other type of person does this quite like they do. If they walk into a room where an argument just happened, they can feel the lingering tension in the air, as if it were a physical weight pressing down on their shoulders. And the closer a person is to their heart, the stronger this effect becomes. If their spouse, child, or dearest friend is suffering from anxiety or depression, they will unknowingly carry that mental state with them throughout their own day. This boundless compassion is their greatest gift to humanity, but it is also their heaviest burden. It takes an immense toll on their spirit, requiring them to constantly navigate the turbulent waters of feelings that do not even belong to them. Have you ever met someone who seemed to know how a situation was going to end before it even began? At times, these individuals might feel like unintentional prophets, quietly predicting outcomes that inevitably come true. Friends might joke that they have a crystal ball or psychic powers, but the reality is far more grounded and fascinating. Their dominant mental function is intuition, which acts like an extraordinarily powerful supercomputer quietly running in the background of their mind. They take in thousands of micro details, a lingering glance, a shift in tone, a historical pattern, an unsaid word. Their brain connects these invisible dots to form a massive, complex big picture. They do not predict the future with absolute magical certainty. Instead, They see what is mathematically and emotionally most likely to happen based on the trajectories of human behavior they have meticulously observed. They can foresee the collapse of a toxic relationship long before the couple even realizes they are fighting. They can anticipate the outcome of a risky life decision because they understand the deep-rooted motivations driving the action. It is a quiet wisdom born from a lifetime of watching, listening, and silently analyzing the beautiful tragic patterns of human life. We often categorize people into two distinct boxes. You are either a creature of logic, driven by hard facts, cold reason, and analytical thinking, or you are a creature of emotion, driven by the heart, passion, and poetic feelings. But what happens when a single soul perfectly embodies both? This rare personality is a beautiful paradox. They possess an incredibly strong capacity for extroverted feeling, allowing them to care deeply for others, but they also rely heavily on introverted thinking, giving them a sharp, analytical, and highly logical inner voice. They do not typically explode with dramatic emotional displays. Instead, they process their profound feelings through a filter of quiet rationale. This makes them an enigma to many. To the fiercely logical thinkers of the world, they might seem too soft, too idealistic, and too caught up in human emotions. Yet, to the purely emotional souls, they can sometimes appear detached, overly analytical, and intensely private. This rare balance is actually their superpower. It gives them a unique form of common sense and deep wisdom. They can write poetry that shatters the heart, while simultaneously solving complex structural problems with the precision of a philosopher. Building a relationship with this personality is like navigating through a quiet, misty forest until you suddenly discover a brilliant, sunlit secret garden. In the presence of strangers, large crowds, or casual acquaintances, they often appear reserved, shy, or emotionally distant. They will politely smile, engage in safe conversation, and keep a safe physical distance. But this initial coldness is nothing more than a protective shield. In absolute truth, they are profoundly relational beings. They are the architects of deep emotional intimacy. It simply takes time, patience, and a feeling of immense safety for them to unlock the gate to their heart. Once you are invited inside, you will discover a warmth and loyalty that is unparalleled. Because they can truly walk in another person's shoes, absorbing their joy and feeling their pain, they have the magical ability to make you feel completely understood. They do not judge your flaws, they analyze them with compassion. Their empathy creates bonds of intimacy so strong that they can withstand the harshest storms of life. To be truly loved by them is to feel seen in your most vulnerable, authentic state, and to know that you are cherished exactly as you are. There is a common misconception about introverts. Society often assumes that introverts hate people, avoid all social gatherings, and are entirely incapable of holding a captivating conversation. This rare personality shatters that myth entirely. They are often referred to as extroverted introverts or social chameleons. Because they care so deeply about the feelings of others, they can walk into a social event and seamlessly adapt to the energy of the room. When they are surrounded by people they deep trust, or when they are discussing a topic they are deeply passionate about, they can become incredibly charismatic, enthusiastic, and wonderfully talkative. They can host a dinner party with grace, laugh loudly, and make everyone feel entirely welcome. But do not let this beautiful performance fool you. At their core, they remain true, undeniable introverts. They do not gather energy from the crowd, they give their energy to the crowd. While they may look like they are thriving at a noisy party, a quiet part of their mind is already dreaming of their soft bed, a warm cup of tea, and the absolute silence of their own home. They deeply prefer a very small, tightly knit circle of lifelong friends over a massive network of shallow acquaintances. The concept of recharging is not a luxury for this personality type. It is an absolute biological and spiritual necessity. Imagine your smartphone battery dropping to 1%. It begins to lag, the screen dims, and eventually, it just shuts down. This is exactly what happens to their soul when they spend too much time navigating the loud, demanding, and emotionally exhausting world of human interaction. Because they absorb the emotions of everyone around them, they become filled to the brim with other people's noise. To survive, they must retreat into the sanctuary of solitude. They need plenty of quiet downtime to empty their minds, process their complex thoughts, and rebuild their inner peace. During these periods of isolation, they are not lonely. They are healing. They might spend hours reading classic literature, walking alone in a quiet park, listening to instrumental music, or simply sitting by a window watching the rain fall. This sacred solitude is where they find their strength again. If you love someone with this personality, the greatest gift you can ever give them is the freedom to be alone without making them feel guilty for it. When they are fully recharged in the silence, they will return to you with a heart full of brilliant love. We live in a world where loud debates, sharp arguments, and aggressive confrontations are often normalized. But for these gentle observers, conflict is not just an inconvenience, it is profoundly distressing. Because their minds are wired to constantly seek harmony and emotional balance, any form of discord feels like a harsh, scraping noise against their soul. When an argument breaks out, especially within their inner circle of close relationships, their delicate emotional ecosystem is entirely shattered. They are intensely sensitive to raised voices, harsh tones, and aggressive body language. This aversion to conflict is so deep that it often manifests physically. They cannot simply brush off a harsh word and go about their day. A bitter argument can leave them entirely depleted, causing them to lose sleep as their mind endlessly replays the conversation, trying to find a peaceful solution. They might experience physical symptoms of distress, such as stress headaches, tense muscles, or an uneasy stomach. They crave peace so desperately that they will often go out of their way to mediate disputes, calm the storm, and restore the gentle rhythm of harmony, even if it means sacrificing their own immediate comfort to make sure everyone else is okay. Because they are such exceptional listeners, profoundly empathetic, and incredibly forgiving, they often find themselves caught in a very painful trap. The trap of the one-sided relationship. It is an unfortunate reality that many people in this world are takers, constantly looking for someone to carry their emotional baggage. And this rare personality is the ultimate giver. A one-sided relationship for them often looks like a friendship, where the other person calls for hours to vent about their daily frustrations, their relationship drama, and their endless anxieties. The gentle introvert listens patiently, offers profound advice, and absorbs the pain. But when the introvert finally has a bad day and needs a shoulder to lean on, the other person is suddenly too busy, too distracted, or completely uninterested. Often, the other person is getting immense emotional healing and joy from the connection, while the introvert is quietly suffocating under the weight of it all. Yet, because they hate conflict and deeply fear hurting the feelings of others, they will often endure this unfair dynamic for years. They will continue to pour from an empty cup, convincing themselves that it is their duty to be the strong, silent healer for everyone else. However, living as the constant emotional dumping ground for others eventually leads to a breaking point. These incredibly unbalanced, one-sided relationships become profoundly exhausting and emotionally draining. They wake up feeling tired before the day has even begun. The emotional exhaustion seeps into their physical body, leaving them feeling hollowed out and entirely depleted. It is during these periods of severe burnout that they must learn one of the hardest lessons of their lives: the necessity of setting fierce boundaries. Setting a boundary feels deeply unnatural to a soul that only wants to heal the world. It feels like a betrayal of their own empathetic nature. But they eventually realize that they cannot save a drowning person if they are being pulled under the water themselves. They learn to softly but firmly close the door on relationships that offer no reciprocity. This process of pruning their social circle can be intensely painful and lonely. They may lose people they once cared for deeply, but it is a vital act of self-preservation. By creating a protective wall around their beautiful garden, they ensure that only genuine, caring, and emotionally mature people are allowed to walk among their flowers. At the very core of their complex existence lies a beautiful, relentless quest. They are the ultimate seekers of the soulmate. And this does not just mean a romantic partner. They are looking for soulmates in friendship, in mentorship, and in love. They have an intense, burning desire to connect with another human being on a level that goes far beyond the superficial surface of everyday life. Shallow chats about the weather or local gossip are utterly meaningless to them. They want to talk about the origin of the stars, the meaning of dreams, the wounds of childhood, and the profound mysteries of the human heart. Because they have such limited social energy to spend, they refuse to waste it on meaningless, one-sided connections. They are looking for those rare, magical individuals who truly click with their strange, beautiful wavelength. People who can feed their intense need for absolute authenticity, deep intimacy, and emotionally naked conversation. The sad truth is that finding people who are willing to dive into the deep end of the emotional ocean is incredibly difficult. They often face years of loneliness, wondering if they are asking for too much from the world. But when that beautiful collision finally happens, when they finally meet a soul who speaks their silent language, who respects their need for quiet, and who gives back just as much love as they take, it truly feels like an absolute miracle. The world suddenly makes sense. The years of feeling like a perpetual outsider melt away into a warm feeling of profound belonging. If you possess this beautiful, rare, and deeply misunderstood personality, please know that your gentle heart is a gift to a loud and chaotic world. Your empathy is not a weakness, it is a magnificent strength. Your need for solitude is not a flaw, it is the sacred ritual that keeps your spirit brilliant. Protect your peace, set your boundaries with pride, and never stop searching for those few precious souls who are brave enough to explore the beautiful depths of your mind. We hope this journey has brought you a sense of healing and understanding today. May you find quiet comfort in your own magnificent inner world. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us, and may gentle peace and graceful light guide you until we meet again in the next quiet chapter of life.